Welcome to the Speak Her Podcast with your host, Camille Essick, the podcast where innovators and creators connect. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Camille Essick. I'm host of the Speaker Podcast. This is the podcast where innovators and creators connect. What I need you to do right now is hit that notification button and subscribe. You can follow us online. We're on various platforms across social media. I am on Instagram at Camille.Essick, on Facebook at the Speaker Podcast, on YouTube. Slide right on over, hit that notification button and subscribe. And then also feel free to send me an email. I would love to hear from you. You can send me an email at thespeakerpodcast@gmail.com. Without further ado, we are bringing my brother and friend back to the show. I'm getting notifications, people tapping in, and I got to figure out how to turn that off because we are live right now. DeShon, first of all, thank you for coming back and welcome back. How are you doing? What's going on? What's new?
Well, all things are new with me. I am living in abundance, and I am speaking that it'll be a perpetual thing and a continual thing. One of my favorite pastors, bishops, he said at the beginning of the year that it was going to be perpetual victories with no breaks. And I'm experiencing that even now. Even on this week, I had some emergency minor surgery, and nobody knew the difference. They just thought I was going on. But even with that, it's not a break. It's all victory. So I'm not going to, shout about it, but all things are new.
I cannot wait to hear the full story. I know, people see you online, but they don't know there's always a backstory.
Oh, yeah. Always.
Since we've last talked, your background back here is looking a little different. What's going on?
Yeah, because tonight I had a photo session at the studio, and I said, well, I'm just going to stay here and go live with you right from the studio. I'm at my little mobile table, so I can kind of move it around.
So the studio is what you're telling us, pretty much. You're trying to be humble, but you're telling us you have a studio since the last time.
Yeah, well, I wanted to be mine. It's not mine yet. I don't have my own yet, but since I pay the monthly fee and then the rental, it's mine. It's mine every time I'm in here. So if you see some of my shoots and some of the glamorous lights is here. Everything is being upgraded now. There, I have a big wall like Missy Elliott light wall, and that's in Studio C. It's 3 studios, A, B, and C. I have motorcycles out here. I have backdrops galore, couches, chairs, highlighters that for headshots, everything. This is the cyclical room because it's just infinite white. So different photos calls for different things, but this is my home away from home. If I could live here, because they have a little apartment up there, but the owner's name is Charles Butler, and that they have shot the choir here. So when they told me the story behind Charles Butler being the owner, and then Charles Butler, the gospel singer, I'm like, I always try to make him sing something, but nevertheless.
Nice. I'm so excited to jump into this conversation, and I'm so glad that you're here to do that with me. One of the things you and I have discussed offline is right now as creatives, particularly in the place of social media, digital media, we're seeing this big shift with AI. Mm-hmm. So I would love to unpack the conversation and just pick your brain as far as the need and necessity to learn AI. I know some people feel a way about it, but it's here. It's not going anywhere. But how certain AI integrations can actually benefit you as an innovator and a creator.
Well, AI is here to stay. If anything else beats out AI, anything, I will probably be 135 because it's taking off in every realm, in every niche, every genre. AI is taking over. And not to say AI is taking over like in the movies where the AI robots start taking over and they become like human. No, you have to have a human in order to do things with AI. It's to make your life better. And as a graphic designer, I know a lot of graphic designers, kind of hate AI when it comes to design and art because you feel like you've taken away from my gift. And no, it's really an addition. As a seasoned graphic designer and photographer, it has only enhanced my gift. It has only made my business better. It's made me work more effectively. It has given me a chance to spend time with myself because a lot of times when you're doing graphic design, um, even with a lot of clients, they're not really satisfied with what you give them because once they see what you give them, then they become creative and then they want changes and they want additions and then they're slow with the money. So you get that stuff out fast. So okay, you got it. Run me, run me that money, run me that change. But it really lifts your business. It lifts your creativity because you create things in with AI, and all of a sudden you don't want to do anything else. It's addictive. It's really what we need to make our lives better, make them change because there's no need to continue to reinvent the wheel and do things over and over again. Uh, if it's going to be easy, you should probably be doing it because once you start, like the chips commercial, once you pop, you can't stop. And that was me because I was just like, is this really going to do this? This is really going to give me this answer this fast. This is going to help me do this. I have not turned my back since I've found out what AI image generation was. And it has only taken off since maybe 2021, 22. I'm like people just now getting, I've been doing this. I'll be up late at night generating images. My friend Natasha Burnett, we will be up all night just making up stuff in our heads of what we could actually create. So it's not going anywhere soon.
That's really good, and I'm glad you brought in those points, DeShon. One of the things I've noticed since I've really started to get my feet into the water with learning AI is one of the things I've loved is the assistance. And so what I did for my followers, I created a free assistant that is public. Now, of course, if they want something more customized, I do that for my clients, but I do have a free version. It's called the Creative Cafe, and it is available on CamillaEsque.com. And so when we have things such as those assistants, excuse me, what are other things outside of just image generation? Like for me, it helps me plan my day, scheduling, even just tasks throughout the day. So can you kind of break that down for those that are not familiar as far as the importance and impact of having an assistant?
Listen, Chat GPT is my whole life. It's my bae, my boo. Anything I feel like I need an answer to, a yes, I pray. Nobody can beat me being an intercessor. But when I want some information right now, I don't have to wait. It's going to give me the results that I need to solve whatever issue I have. It solves problems, it solves issues, and it's going to give me the workaround to do it, and it's going to do it really quickly. So it's not going anywhere. That Chat GPT is my closest friend because the memory that I pay for, it remembers who I am, what I'm saying, how I talk, things that I would say, and it always shows me a better way.
So like you can train it.
You train it. You train it to know you. Just like in the images, the chat will know. Just like now, I have the design doctor. I said, okay, people are constantly asking me how to do this and how to do that. I'm going to set up something where you can ask me that 24/7. And speaking my voice, when I say use my voice, I'm so tickled because I'm so country. So it'll tell me when something is fire or said in a more of a black way, like I speak. It tickles me.
The vernacular.
Yes, I'm just like, yeah, because he'll give me what the nice words, but then I say, well, say it like I was saying. And then he goes off. I was just like, this is crazy. So AI is not taking over by itself. You have to train it. You have to tell it what you want because you are in charge. The AI is just there, ready to respond to you.
That's really good. One of the things you and I have discussed is, especially right now with what we're dealing with culturally, the importance and impact of ownership, because we're seeing so many things stripped away in different industries that we've depended on. There's a lot of negativity and worry. I mean, I understand that, but can we kind of have that discussion as far as, I think this is a really good time for us to really build our own platforms, even more ownership within our website, our images, the narratives that we tell regarding each other, the storytelling, the artistry, music, all of it. Like, this is actually a great time for us to jump in and really carve out an even wider space for ourselves as people.
Yeah, you definitely need to hop on this opportunity of creativity all over the world. Even because some people say, they're gonna steal my stuff. No, because if you are signing up or paying for any service, you automatically get the disclaimer that these are your images, this is your art, this is your writings. Even with the assistance of AI, if you're paying for it, you automatically have that disclaimer that I have the right.
Intellectual property.
It is yours. And people say, well, they stealing across the net. Okay, you do it too every time you go to Google, because you're not supposed to save a picture from Google either, because you do not have the right to do it. But when you pay for these services, you have to always read the fine print, because it tells you then and there, these are yours. And that's why when I post something on Instagram and people have used it to use promos, no sir, no ma'am, you won't just up and use. You haven't purchased this image from me. You have not purchased my service. You did not ask me to create anything for you, and I know my images. I don't care how long ago it was. I know my brand, my look, even for AI images. A lot of folks stuff look the same, but no, I know my stuff has popped up here and there and everywhere. Thank you for sharing my work. I'm like, if you would like to use this in promotions for your business, we need to discuss business, because you don't have the right.
Watermarks. I use watermarks on a lot of things.
I hate watermarks.
So mainly because on my website, just for general advertisement, I do embed and include watermarks. And then once they purchase, it's not there. Some things are not there. Like if it's something like, if I create a flyer or a graphic for the podcast, our logo is already there, so there's really no need. But if I'm doing image generation to advertise, excuse me, I will include, excuse me, my voice is out, to include a watermark. But I see what you're doing through TikTok and creating stories, and not just with image generation, but it's just important for us as a people to have our own content, to have representation. I love Canva, but there have been times when I've put in a search and I've needed images, the representation is lacking. And so out of that frustration, I've gone more into image generation to expand my digital reach, because we don't all look alike, and we have curvy women, we have slim women, we have tall women, short women, thick men, slim men. And so I just feel that it's important that not just in the stock images or stock elements to have one particular demographic, but that we all have representation. And so I think with what you do, with what I do, we're beginning to kind of carve out that lane a little bit more, So options, because it's important that we see ourselves.
We must show ourselves to the world farther than that slave look that people study in history. Okay, history has evolved. There are some bigger and better things and some brighter things, some successful things that need to be a part of history. If like when my niece and nephew comes up, they need to know about the strength and the beauty of a Black person, of a Black creative mind, so that they have something to reach and have goals. So that I can do that too, and not just a mom's Mabley low mentality. You lifting people high, showing the people that they can be queens, that they can be kings, even right here in the United States, even in the midst of what's happening in our country, that they can overcome and they can still stand and be beautiful and be strong and be educated and be wonderful. And we can create those images daily. I know I do.
The same here. One of the things, kind of turning the corner a little bit as far as being in the space of service and realizing that, excuse me, we have to remember that, yes, we're gifted and we're talented, but we're more than just what we do. And I've kind of looked at conversation across different platforms, and I've noticed how creatives kind of go through these highs and lows because people, it's like they want us, but they don't want us, if that makes sense. It's more from a transactional standpoint, not really investing, not building relationships, reaching out, wanting information, but when you direct them to how to acquire our services, to get the assistance, you don't want to make the investment. You just want the gift without having to make the investment.
No, you have to make the investment. And I've learned that if you have not invested your time with me, I have to cut you off. If God did tell me to bless you or to give you certain things, certain tips, certain helps, then I'm not going to do it, because people will use you until you are dry and they don't care. And when they're through using you, they're going to go into the next vessel to choose to drink from. And that it's sad that a lot of people in our communities will just now I can't even think of the word. Just
why do we do that to each other? Like, that's one thing I've always wanted to understand is, why is it within our community there's this sense of entitlement of, you want the service or the gift, but you do not want to make the investment. And when we operate just like anyone else, then there's an issue, or they just go on to someone else. And excuse me. And so I just want to encourage, or for you to encourage other creators and innovators out there, and kind of dig deeper into the importance of building the relationship with us. We want to help you. We want to serve. We want to see you win. But there has to be some leverage, and there has to be an investment.
You, first of all, creative, you must invest in you. You must invest in time for yourself, some time for rest, because people will keep biting at you until there is nothing left. And they're going to throw you like an old corn on the cob and looking for another whole kernel. You have to invest in you, because if you're not investing in yourself, don't expect anyone else to do it. And a lot of times there are some creatives, they want everything for free. Adobe is not free. Canva is not free. Midjourney is not free. You have to make an investment in order to get the things that you want. And because you want someone to invest in you, it's like sowing a seed into people. If you want somebody to sow into you, you need to sow into good ground. And all of those are rich, wealthy, great grounds. And you want somebody to sow, but you have to sow into yourself. You got to sharpen your craft. You just because there are a lot of creators that just want to take as well. They want you to give them all of your secrets, all of your ways, but when it comes time for them to be on the big show, they're not calling your name. they're not inviting you to speak. So you must learn how to invest in yourself. So when it is your time and when it is your season, you can come forth shining. Then you can be the example, not following about what you've seen and what you've experienced. You just going forth and doing the best things and being the greatest you that you could have ever possibly have ever been. I have started with so many ministries and artists. Once they're done with you, they go. But the funny thing is, most of those people that they go over to are my friends, and we probably have discussed you. So I'm like, yeah, I call myself the apostle of design because there are a lot of big name ministries and artists that I have worked with. People will be like, I didn't know you did that. You're not gonna, because I'm not one to I brag and boast on God. I don't you know I don't have to brag on that. But in my testimony, I say I'm the apostle of graphic design because people start with me and then they go on to do bigger and better. Each person, each ministry, I'll be like, oh my God. And sometimes I wonder, what would I be doing with them? But I'm like, I served my purpose. So I know to do that with you and then do that with everyone else that God has led me to work with. I mean, some great people. Then sometimes they'll forget who you are or forget how you connected. But when you go back to my files, because I delete nothing, I was trying to tell Camille, don't delete. I want to keep the mess ups. I want to keep what they didn't choose. Because when somebody say you didn't do that, yes, here's the file. Here are the files. This is the work that I did. It may be under somebody else's name. I designed. I created this. So always have something to fall back on, and that is you.
That's really good. And you're a wealth of knowledge because I have picked your brain many a times, especially now, and I really appreciate you for that. And you recently did a class, I think it was $99, excuse me, and I invested in it because I was like, this is something that I need. And to invest in me, I invested in you because I call you the professor. And I wanted to grow outside of just podcasting and expand my digital reach. And so in that, um, I saw the value in what you offered. And I did not ask for a discount. I did not ask for a hookup or whatever. You told me what the price was. I paid it. And it was a 2-hour, session, and you gave so much. And I want to openly say thank you for that. Just the opportunity to learn and grow as a creative. And I've desired to grow the face of my podcast and my website, and having that course with you has allowed me to do that. Excuse me, which goes right into our next point here as far as the need and important for us to kind of expand our services and our wheelhouse with AI and technology. Because yes, for example, I'm a podcaster, but now getting more into bundles and other things. Excuse me, my allergies are bothering me. But how we should really think about and consider the importance of kind of expanding our portfolio. And I won't say not to put all of our eggs in one basket, but kind of have some other things in our wheelhouse.
You ready for me to answer that?
Yes, I am.
It's okay to put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
It just allows you to have more baskets. All these eggs are in this basket. All
More
these
eggs, more baskets.
this basket. Yes, multiple baskets. You may have an Easter basket. Somebody may have a fragrance basket. Somebody may have a basket full of flowers. and you may be able to create and do all of those things. Never limit yourself to the things and the possibilities, because you came on my class for one thing, and you are now a video creator, image creating, logo animator.
It was a seed, and I think sometimes I feel that we have multiple gifts and sparks, and sometimes you need someone to speak into that thing that you don't know that you have. And DeShon, sitting down with you, I didn't realize I had the capability, but because I made myself available to you and invested, you were able to speak to that thing in me, and it awakened. And I'm like, oh wow, And so that's why I feel like this season, uh, in order to really grow, collaboration is important.
You must. Collaboration, if you see any of the social media things, they are big on collaborations. So much so they will block you if you don't follow the rules. I'm a
Yeah.
witness.
Yeah, I think one of the things
It's
I've
big.
seen and I've noticed too, a lot of people are so busy trying to connect up the ladder that a lot of times, honestly, right now, we are the generation of the next. And so, really, it's more important to collaborate and connect, network horizontally versus trying to go up the ladder, because a lot of those people have reached their peak and they're starting to move on to something else. And right now, this is the time and the space that we reach across the aisle, the table, and build those connections and relationships, and we go forward together.
That's right. It's all about collaboration. Even God collaborates. He's the great ruler, but he said, "Let us make man after our image and likeness." He loves a team. So we should not be anything less than what God has already started. He It's not good for you to be alone. It's for us to break bread together, that we may sharpen uh, the iron. Don't have necessarily be a man, but people in general. We work and we vibe off of each other. Especially if you're a creative, you just can't do it by yourself. Just the thing with the design doctor, you think you've done something really nice. You put that graphic or photo up in design doctor and just say critique it, or just upload it. It'll make you feel small. It's gonna the design doctor will boost you, give you every great and wonderful thing. But if you want to finesse this, if you want to fix this is what you should do, and it's gonna tell you line upon line.
So, what do
Yeah,
you
so
see?
collaborate.
I love it. And so, where do you see the trajectory of everything when we look at photography? Let's say you're shooting someone and they're not really in a space where they have the desired background. Can you kind of give an example, maybe for photographers, on how AI can actually benefit them in a photography setting? Maybe with background changes. Like, how does that actually work?
All of that. I use AI for editing, retouching, to changing backgrounds, to any location in the world that you would like to be. If we can't create it here, I can create it here on my computer. So it is a world of possibilities. It's endless. Every image that I have posted or have shot in the last few years, I am making the composites with images that I have generated um, through Midjourney and other platforms that I will sneak in and use. But Midjourney is my most favorite image generator. Uh, this I can always pull the backdrops and the props from in the hallway and in the other studios. Those are nice, but when you really want to create a major composite, you have to buckle down into your computer and create something digitally. Um, because other than that, you'll spend thousands of dollars and creating backgrounds, and some people do that. That is great and nice, but when I can just sit and make that same background, that same atmosphere and then add my own what I call magic to it, give me that any day. It's cute for me to come here and just snap it, but I have to take it to the next level. I have to put, as some folks say, put my stank on it.
It does take time and patience, and that's one of the things you and I have discussed offline is you do have to take the time to learn the resources that they're putting out to us, whether it's you investing in a class, investing in a mentorship, a session, excuse me, a master class. You do have to take the time, but because a lot of people are so busy, that's where people like you and myself come along. I'm working to become the creative's creative. And one of the things I've begun to do on my website on CamilleEssex.com is creating the e-marketing vaults, for those that need emails, creating the bundles, creating templates for Instagram, social media, for the highlights, the posts. So all they have to do is drop if they want to change the font and color and go, because it is can be tedious. It can be arduous sometimes with the sizing, and so that's why I've taken it upon myself, creating the podcast bundle, the master plan, creating my ebooks, creating templates for real estate agents, for those in therapy, holistic spaces, to make those resources grab and go. And as you can probably attest to, like I said before, it can be time consuming if you take the time and actually do that yourself.
Most definitely.
So what are some other things that you feel that creatives should do as far as on the mental health end, as far as resetting? Because there are days where I'm pouring out and my mind gets tired. And so I've always said, creating those self-care days, the me time, the rest time. So what are some things you can speak to, or even things that you do personally?
Well, listen, you have to have that me time, because people will use you until there's no more you. You must. And I have been a person in my life that I'm always trying to satisfy something else. And people say, "Oh, you know everything," but I feel like I try to learn as much as possible. So when someone asks me a question, I have an answer to give. I'm not. I don't want to be a know-it-all. But if you're asking me something, especially as a friend or a client, I want to be able to give you a response so that you will understand the issue, or we can find out together. Um, but you must, with all of that, have time for you so that you can unwind, clear your thoughts, meditate, think about scriptures. I'm like, because I'm not even going to say go to church, because sometimes that's loud and rambunctious. There are times where you need to be quiet and you need to settle yourself, and you can hear what God is saying to you, especially as creative, because He is the most creative one. So He's gonna. I feel like God is always speaking, and people say that in the quiet time, yeah, He's already spoken, and He's speaking, and He will speak again. And I'm constantly hearing what He's saying, doing. And when I am bothered with people and their mess and their problems, I can't hear Him, because you're making it sound garbled like the old internet.
Yeah, and that
No.
can impact your creativity.
Yes, it will hinder it, because that's a trick of the enemy. He wants to hinder the creativity of God.
That's really good. And then also, there have been times I may have been working on a design project, and because I am so task oriented, especially when I'm in a rhythm, I'll get frustrated if it's not going right. And I've learned to just step back, like just walk away from it, take a moment, an hour or two, or come back to it later on, do something else, because your mind can only output so much in one setting. And I know even for me, sometimes I tend to put more pressure on myself to get things done. Like, oh, I need to do X, Y, Z. And so over the last couple of weeks, there have been times where I just had to just step back from it. And then when I came back to it, boom, it's like it came to me. So what are things that you have done in those moments of reset where a design project maybe it's not going right for you, or what you're producing? It's like, I always wait for the warm fuzzy. It has to feel right for me. And when I'm like, oh, I like that, this is good. But when you're not getting that warm fuzzy from a design project, what do you do to really spark the inspiration?
Listen, I'm going to tell you, I don't get the warm fuzzies. Especially with my clientele, I don't get it. I wait. I'll be warm and fuzzy when that money hits my Zelle or my Cash App or my Apple Pay. That's why I get real warm and fuzzy, because everybody wants to get creative, and then they have all these changes. And I think some people just want changes, just because they act like they're in charge. But I'm like, when I feel something close to what I say is warm and fuzzy, or when like, oh boy, you did that. I was like, oh, that's nice. And then they come and ruin it. I'll be like, just stab me in my chest. So I think I've fixed my life and fixed my way of working to do what you're asked to do and give it to them, that yes or no. Save your warm and fuzzies for your portfolio. Save that for your own personal thing. Because I get greater joy when I'm creating something for myself. I get great joy when I can shoot myself, because other people that are shooting me, I'm like, what is this?
Know
You just
your angles is important. Like, I know my angles,
yeah, you have to. And just like some people, I'm like, okay, but you have to do things for yourself, create for yourself. If you are doing flyers and stuff, just create something for yourself. You might your a business may come out of that. Something may lead you into doing something else when you start doing it for yourself. Because I hate it when people used to take my picture. I'm just like, you got me looking like the longest, ugly little dork. And now when I do my pictures, they be like, "Oh my, oh,
I always say I'm my
oh,
biggest
man."
client, because I feel like what I do for myself is my living billboard or portfolio. And
Mhm.
I do a lot of different things. So when others come to me for work, they can see, oh, she can do this, she can do that, And so I feel that social media can be your walking advertisement. And maybe if you're having a down season, invest in yourself and find ways to elevate the look and feel and experience of whatever it is that you do. And it could be anything. But
Anything,
be your biggest client. And that will attract more people.
exactly. Because and when I build me, somebody else sees that. Well, can you do that for me? Every single time. When I, because I try not to even just do too much of me. I boost my clients and whatever else I do. But when I do it for me, I need you to do it. Mine need to look like that. You,
I get that a lot.
I'm like, yeah, sure. You can have that very thing. No, you're not going to, just because I didn't pay myself. You got to pay me for what I did.
Which goes back into investment. Like, there has to be an investment. I do
Has to.
believe in reciprocity and fairness. I have had individuals ask me on how to, but again, it goes back to an investment. I don't mind, but we need relationship. We need rapport. I do cold consultations,
Mhm.
but again, there's got to be an investment. I have started my Creative Connect. I started doing on social media the last couple of weeks, and it's going very well. I do look to doing more, but I think for me, I guess being the new kid on the block in the world of creativity is kind of, it's been off-putting by the level of entitlement I've experienced from our community.
Mhm.
Although that is my core audience, um, I've never been that way towards other people, but just in this chapter of life, um, remaining cordial and professional,
Mhm.
but saying, "Hey, I don't mind but these are the guidelines. These are the services that I offer. And right now, this is the best time to get me because things that are coming out later on this year, today's price may not be the same tomorrow. Um, excuse me, because as we gain more clientele, begin to gain more um, higher end clientele, the technology is not cheap. And having to pay for everything to generate, to create, to do. Um,
Yes.
coming to me to ask me to build your podcast, that takes resource. And that's
Yeah.
not something I can do for free. I don't mind building podcasts. That's what I do. I love building podcasts, but there has to be some investment in that. And it takes time. You can't just throw a podcast together. I know a lot of people make it seem easy. You just grab a mic, but if you're really wanting long form content and longevity, it takes a lot of time and a lot of investment as far as time and resources. It's a process. Even with the speaker podcast, getting this to where it is now, it's been a journey. It really has been a journey.
Yeah. It's not free. Even if you don't pay for it, it's not free because your time is your money. That is an old adage, an old saying. Time is money. And then they go on to say, time waits for no man. Because if you don't do it, somebody else is going to. There's nothing new under the sun. I don't care how many great and wonderful mics you have. When you get one of these, that don't make your podcast. You got to have something up here. You got to have something to give to people. You have to have something to say. And you'll never get anywhere being mean, hateful, or selfish. And all of these things cost, but the biggest price to pay is your time, because some people will just take advantage of it, and they will take your time and waste your time, and they don't even, because with a lot of people who do websites with me, they are excited about the notion of having a website. But then I don't care how much AI we have, you still have to develop that site. And they don't have the information together, they don't have the images, they don't have the content that needs to go in there. You just wanted a domain name so people could see you at www.thismywebsite.com. No.
Speaking of images, I want to mention that the importance of having quality, high resolution images. I have worked with people that are amazing business professionals, and still you're giving me Snapchat selfies of you in the car, you in the bathroom, what you feel like is your best photo of yourself from college, undergrad, and could be killing it, but not making the time to have and provide a quality, high resolution headshot.
Yes, you must. Because I'm like, these days, we are training images. Listen, there is no excuse for you to have a good headshot, a great photo of you. What are the people going to put in your obituary? You can't have this grainy mess because they're gonna talk about you right over your dead body. Because you need to have photos with friends. You need to have good images, because these photos last longer than us.
That's true.
Yeah.
It goes back to that. I guess the word of the night is investment.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to investment.
You must.
Yeah, I do want the creators and innovators and those out there, whatever you're doing, whatever industry, DeShon, I want you to really encourage them as we begin to wrap up. Just some words as far as, I guess, like, takeaways, last minute nuggets and jewels, something they can get from this conversation, but just some words of wisdom and some takeaways. Also, what you have coming down the pipeline, and then where people can reach you on social media.
Okay. I'm going to tell you how to reach me. If you look up DeShon Gales you're gonna get the DeShonGales.com. You'll get DG Creative Studio. You will get DeShon Gales AI. um, you can connect with me on all of any platform. Basically, my name is gonna come up if you Google it, and that's not being facetious. But if you put my name in, then boom, you'll find me. Now, my nuggets for you tonight: invest in you. Because if you don't, people will take advantage of you. People will hurt your feelings. They will hurt your heart. They will use you and take over you. So make sure you are taking care of you. I'm a witness. I have given my life over to people who, even if they did mean some goodness towards me, they still overtook my life. I was too nice. I was too kind and overindulgent in making them big. Make yourself big. Concentrate on you. Take time for you, and you will see good success. Don't let people use you. Don't let them mistreat you, because 9 times out of 10, you're not treating them that way.
Yeah,
But
the boundaries are important. That's really good.
yes, you must.
Yeah. And you know what? It helps filter out something so the people that are meant to come to you, the room will be made for them.
Yeah, definitely will. Because you never know who is not getting to you because you're consistent with being with the wrong person or being in the wrong atmosphere. So I love them, but they hang with and they do this, and as soon as they get through, I'll be right here waiting. It's a sad commentary, but it is definitely true. Like, I can't fool with her because she be with so and so, so and so, and a lot of times we block our blessings, boosting other people when God wants us to be in a place where we can be found. They think it's just for women, but people are watching you, just like with this last opportunity of becoming the vice president of a mailing company, a major mailing company. I didn't apply for this job. I didn't ask for this job. People are watching you. People have seen the things that you do, and they're waiting until the right moment, the right God moment, because they will tell you, when I saw this, God said, you were the one. So,
So you did not apply for the job?
no, they called me on my business line out of nowhere. Cause I usually don't answer their business line because it be a man sometimes spammy. But then I looked at it and I said, this is a Maryland number. Let me answer. And they would say, hello. Must speak to DeShon Gales, something like this. He said, and it went on from there. And they was talking about they saw a post on social media that I did. And then connecting with them, the another person that works with them had already printed a program that I had done. So I'm just like, huh? You never know who is in your reach. You don't know who is sitting there watching you, looking at you and what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing for you, because someone greater than where you are is watching, is looking, and they're ready to say to you, you are the one that God said I need.
Yes. That's why you got to keep that social media clean. Stop, posting um, the dirty laundry on social media, because you
Yeah.
don't ever know who is watching your timeline, your feeds, your stories, your LinkedIn. LinkedIn is another great place, you know, to network and connect. So that's really good.
Yeah.
Well, DeShon, it's been really good. I'm glad that you sat down with me to speak to our creators and innovators. I cannot wait to bring you back. For those of you, um, tomorrow between 11 a.m. and 1 sometime on my Facebook and YouTube, we're going to have a little conversation. So I'm going to probably pop up and do a Creative Connect. My Creative Cafe is now available. You can go right now to CamilleEssick.com and check that out. I have a lot of things available there on my website. Creative Cafe is the newest item available. It is the free version for my followers and subscribers. It is a 24-hour virtual assistant. It is available to you. The Creative Connect will be live sometime between 11 and 1 on Facebook and YouTube. Stay tuned for that. If you are following me, you should get that notification as well. And then on my website, we have stock elements available. So if you're looking for printable items, things for your website, your social media, and other ventures, go right now. I'm constantly releasing things. I just released some things in preparation for summer and some things for the Curvy Girls as well. So tap in right now. You can grab those right now. And I hope that you all got something from this conversation. This is Camille Essick, host of the Speaker Podcast. This is the podcast where creators and innovators connect. And I hope that you all tune in and tap in. We will not have a live next week. We'll have a rewind. But the following week, Emily and Wayne Martin, they're going to join us. And we're going to have a discussion about love, marriage, and relationships. So I hope to see you there. This is Camille Essick, the podcast where innovators and critics connect. Y'all be blessed. Good night. Bye-bye. Thank you, DeShon.
You're welcome.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Speaker Podcast. Be sure to follow Camille on Instagram at Camille.Essick, Facebook at the Speaker Podcast, or www